If fashion as an industry was a country, it would be the third largest polluter. The environmental impact is huge.
Crazy. What do you think is the real environmental cost of our current fashion habits?
Annually, we are putting 11.3 million tons of textiles out on landfills in the world. For any garment to be considered sustainable, it needs to be worn at least 30 times. Compare that to the average. On average, a garment is worn 7 times. One of the reasons why people don't wear garments as much, they just get bored. A lot of times it's because you bought that sweater to wear with that pair of pants and you didn't imagine anything beyond that, right? Before I started working on Open Wardrobe, I was buying something probably...
Wow. Welcome to or welcome back to Founders in Jeans. I'm your host, Emily Jean. And before we get into the episode, I just want to say a huge thank you so much for listening to my podcast. It means the world to me. And yeah, I just wanted to come on here and say thank you so much. I also wanted to say that if you enjoy the show, feel free to leave a review on Spotify or Apple, wherever you're listening to this, and also to follow us. You can follow us on Spotify, of course. You can follow us on Instagram at Founders in Jeans. You can also find me on Instagram at emily.jeans, or you can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect with people on there, and I have a lot of good conversations from listeners. Also, you can always leave a bad review for us. I'm totally fine with that. And in fact, I think that's exciting. I would love to know what we can do to improve. So you can also leave comments below and let me know what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. I actually do read every single one. We also have a newsletter that comes out once a week, so you can get all the updates from us. We also put in some weekly business and marketing updates in there, as well as some personal notes from me. You can subscribe to that on my LinkedIn, also through the Instagram and in the show notes below. Anyways, that is all from me. I'm so excited for you to listen to this episode. I hope it's a good one, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye. Julia Dietmar of Open Wardrobe. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to Founders in Jeans.
Hi, Emily. Nice meeting you and nice to be here.
Hi, thank you. So why don't you give a little bit of background about you for people who have not heard of you yet?
Okay, so my background, I'm an engineer, software engineer by my first education, and I spent first third of my career coding. And then I decided to be kind of closer to the business side and to the customer. And then I switched to being a product manager. And I worked for many companies from financial services to deep tech to software services. And then in 2010, I was working for a startup that got acquired by Walmart, and that's how I got into retail. So it always was almost accidental. Walmart is a very good education if you want to learn retail business. And for different verticals, I was working with merchants in home decor and office supplies and apparel, learning a lot of different ways of how to work with vendors and how to work with suppliers and what the challenges are. And apparel kind of was really, really fascinating to me because it's one of those retail verticals where it's very difficult to predict what people will want and will want to buy beyond basics. Every item is pretty much unique. You don't have universal product codes. It's very difficult to compare things. So lots of different challenges. So that's kind of how I got into apparel and why I wanted to be more in kind of apparel fashion space. And then after that, after Walmart, I went to a company that was super small at the time called thredUP. They are a marketplace for secondhand women's and children's clothing. And that's kind of how I got into sustainability space. And then AI happened with my next job. I was working for a deep tech where we were building personalization, specifically for personalization AI for retailers. And we worked with a lot of different apparel brands around the world. So, and here I am right now building open wardrobe.
So, can you give me kind of a high level overview of what Open Wardrobe is and what it does?
Yeah, we call it a platform for mindful dressing. But what this really is, it's a set of tools that help you digitize your wardrobe, manage your outfits, pre-plan your outfits. We have AI that helps you with all of that. And then for clothing that you no longer want, we have integrations with secondhand marketplaces where you can just with one button click list it on your account at Poshmark, for example. Also, we have integrations with services like alterations and repairs. So if you really need anything altered, like you need your trousers hemmed or silhouette slimmed or something, you can order it through the platform. So it's really kind of a set of tools that help you manage your daily chore of getting dressed
Mhm,
and not
mhm.
get stressed about it.
Yeah. And when did you guys roll out Open Wardrobe?
We are coming up to 4 years now. So
Okay.
it's going to be 4 years in November.
Yeah. So a decent amount of time. So I guess I'm curious. I want to just dive in here. Was there kind of a specific moment that sparked the idea for it? Or what's the origin story there for Open Wardrobe?
Yeah, so the origin story, as I mentioned, I was working with a lot of apparel brands, and they were all asking pretty much the same question in a different way, but the same question. And the question was, how do I know more about the customer, and how do I really understand the customer? And that's how kind of the idea started. It was back in 2018, I want to say, when I kind of first started thinking about it. And then it kind of evolved. That idea was marinating in my head. And then during COVID, when we were all stuck at home and I was staring at my closet and seeing the mess and how unmanageable it was, I started thinking about just, would be nice to have the tool where I could see everything that I have and then organize and even, manage not just my daily outfits, but my clothing. If I don't want anything, how can I resell it right from the platform? Not necessarily the platform being the resale of record, but with through integrations. So that's how it started. It started during COVID. It's probably a lot of ideas, new ideas, but yeah.
Okay, got it. And so I guess I'm curious. I know that you have just kind of touched on this, but your journey has really taken you from computer science and an MBA, and now you're building this AI powered fashion platform.
Mhm.
So I want to go back in time a little bit. And how have you been able to connect these things, computer science and MBA?
So I did get my MBA, but I stayed in tech. I worked for Yahoo after I completed my MBA, and then basically tech companies since then. And the way it kind of evolved, my very first product management job was a technical product manager. So I was building very technical platforms, and then gradually, it kind of moved more towards the customer.
Mhm.
And then fashion, I kind of explained how it happened. But when I started building open wardrobe, that's kind of another funny story. I always wanted it to be AI enabled and provide educational tools for people. So just kind of a assistant AI, not necessarily the authority over everything, but somebody to help you. It's just like your styling assistant, right? You can ask very quick questions like, how do I wear this? Or does this suit me? Or should I buy this? Right? And in order to build that AI and train that AI, I needed to understand the theory behind it. So I became a certified image consultant. So I went and trained as color consultant and personal stylist. So just to understand the theory. So that's kind of how it all came together at the end.
Yeah, got it. So I want to talk a little bit about, fashion and consumption because you touched
Hmm.
on briefly before your background in sustainability and thinking about how that applies to clothing.
Yeah.
So I know that there is a lot of talk about the kind of environmental detriments of our current fashion habits, but I would say I don't have a really firm grasp on what that actually looks like.
Hmm.
From your perspective, what do you think is the real environmental cost of our current fashion habits?
So I'll give you a few stats that kind of will put stuff in perspective. So annually, we are putting 11.3 million tons of textiles out on landfills.
Crazy.
11.3 million tons. Crazy, yeah. So that's kind of one statistic. On the production side, the pollution, the water consumption, and environmental impact is huge. So if fashion as an industry was a country, it would be the third largest polluter
Crazy.
in the world
Yeah.
if you're comparing it to countries. So that's definitely huge. What we're not addressing with our tools and what we're helping people to do, we're not addressing the production side, right? So
Mhm.
that's brands, and there are lots of great companies that are helping with that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to empower consumers to make smart decisions and at least not eliminate all the clothing that goes to landfill, but at least reduce it. Right.
Mhm.
And how we do that is by providing this tool. So we are helping you use what you already have instead of buying new. Or if you do need to buy new or you want to buy new, we're giving you tools to make better decisions so that when you actually buy it, you will wear it, not return it, and not just keep it in your closet, but you will wear it and then you will get use out of it. And another statistic, um, you can tell I like numbers. Another statistic is that for any garment, regardless of how it was produced, for any garment to be considered sustainable, it needs to be worn at least 30 times. Compare that to the average. On average, a garment is worn 7 times
Wow.
today. So how do you extend the life of the garment and be worn 30 times? First, you just need to be creative of how you're putting outfits together. And then we're helping you do that, right? Just kind of spark your creativity. And second one is durability, right? So if something is starting to fall apart, we help you repair it or alter it or do something like that. Or if you don't want it anymore, we help you resell it and maybe find a second home. So that's what we're trying to
Yeah.
address.
So I'm curious immediately when you say that about a garment being worn 7 times. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm definitely guilty of that. I think too, I want to touch on the gendered aspect of this because I'm thinking about my dad, for example, like he'd buy one sweater and he'd wear it for the rest of his life. But I think me and my sisters are significantly less likely to do that. Why do you think that is? And how do you then approach that? I guess looking at it from there's different experiences for a guy versus a girl.
So, well, first of all, yes, it's gender, but it's also generational. So if I
Mm,
remember, like my grandmother, all her dresses were handmade for her body. They all fit her perfectly, and she wore them for decades. So it's both. But let's address the gender. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it's first of all, for guys, there's always less choice. There's always more choice for women. If you
mm,
walk into any department store, there will be like half a floor for men or a floor for men and then 3 or 4 floors for women. So that's one thing. And then for another thing is, it's really cultural, right? So if you look at the glossy magazines, like women need to doll up and then women need to dress up. And so it's that. And also all of the influencing that's been going on in the last, I don't know, 20 years or so, really with, unboxing and
right.
putting value on new stuff rather than quality stuff. I think that kind of makes that problem a bit worse. One more thing that I wanted to mention is you mentioned that you're guilty of not wearing stuff a lot. Why is that?
Yeah,
I want to ask you.
yeah, it's a good question. I would say for me, I'm sure everybody's different, but I think that shopping it kind of comes with this addictive quality. Like you get
Hmm.
a new package, you're putting on new clothes, you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And the sad thing is, too, I might buy something and love it, but I probably wear 20% of my closet 80% of the time,
Yeah, that's normal.
which I think, yeah, I think that's very normal.
Mm.
So for me and for other people listening to this, how do you help people, I guess, fall back in love with the clothes they already own?
Yeah. So again, sparking your creativity. One of the reasons why people don't wear garments as much, they just get bored, right? And why do you get bored? A lot of times it's because you bought that sweater to wear with that pair of pants, and you didn't imagine anything beyond that. right? So one of the tools we have is just kind of giving you different combinations of how you can combine that sweater with everything else you already own to make different outfits.
Mm.
So that's one. Another one is really helping you understand your style personality, so to speak, right? So because when you buy something, not because you love it, but because somebody else influenced you to buy it, whether it was a salesperson or a friend, or you saw it on a model somewhere and it looked amazing and you wanted that. But when you bought it and put it on yourself, it was not as amazing because your body is different, your coloring is different, right? So we're trying to educate you to not try to fit into somebody else's mold
Mm.
and really understand yourself and be mindful when you're shopping. Yes, I saw that dress on that person in orange, but orange is not my color, right? So maybe I will buy something else, or will buy that in my color.
Mm.
So that's how we're kind of helping people fall in love with what they already have and understand that if they don't love it, why?
Interesting. I guess I want to, okay, I have a question for you personally.
Okay.
How often do you buy new clothes in general, like in the year? And how many new clothes are you buying?
Before I started working on Open Wardrobe, I was buying something probably every week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like a shopaholic in terms
Yeah.
of I would go, let's say I would drop off my son at his activity, and like instead of waiting by the door, I would just go in the neighboring boutique and buy something,
Right.
you know? So that was very normal for me. And then, of course, got out of control. Now with Open Wardrobe, and also granted, I don't go to the office every day, right? So I don't need to dress up every day. So now I probably buy maybe 5 pieces a year,
Okay. Wow. So yeah, significant reduction.
a significant reduction. And well, first of all, like my bank account is very happy, or my credit card
Yeah.
is very happy, but it's also, I'm a lot more mindful of how I buy. I used to be one of those people, like I would, there are some colors that I just like as colors, but they don't look good on me. And I was really trying to make them
Mm.
work without understanding. They just stop trying. So yeah, it's become a lot less.
Yeah. I think there are some people that's going to hear that and they're going to feel like, I could never, I can't imagine doing anything like that. So I want to, how do you, I guess, balance style with sustainability without making people feel restricted?
I don't feel that sustainability is related to being restricted. It's not. And you can, of course, tell yourself, oh, I'm not going to buy anything just because, right? But you don't have to. Being sustainable to me is really being mindful of if you are bringing something, and I'm talking about clothing specifically. If you're bringing something in your closet, there's a good reason for it.
Mhm.
The reason could be you just love that item,
Mhm.
but you know that you're going to wear it
Yeah.
many times, right? So as long as you know that it's something that you will love and use for a while, there's absolutely no reason to be restricted.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, and I think this might be a common thing for other women in different ways, but I'm really tall. So it's really, really difficult for me to find pants or jeans. So
Mhm.
any opportunity that I do find a pair of pants or jeans that are long enough for me, I'll take it and I'll buy 3, for example, because
Mhm.
I have never been able to have like a lot of pants in the closet, basically. So my question is, I guess, for women who are struggling with size constraints or different, body constraints as it applies to shopping, how do you kind of balance, I feel like I need this because I hardly ever find things that fit me this way. And also, I don't want to over consume.
Well, if you need this, then you do not overconsume because you
Mm.
need it. You're going to use it,
Mhm.
right? By the way, I'm completely opposite of you. So I'm a foot shorter than you. I pretty much everything I buy, I need altered
Mhm.
because I'm just not very standard in terms of the size and body shape. But because I need it altered, and alterations oftentimes comes with extra expense, that makes me very often think is it worth it?
Right.
Right. And one more thing that I would say for people who are kind of not standard, really consider investing in tailoring
Mm.
items made custom for you.
Mhm.
I've done it several times. Sounds expensive, but it doesn't have to be. And you choose your fabrics, you choose the styles. It's made to your body, and it is something that is going to serve you for years.
Mhm. Mhm. Got it. I think
And
that's
that's
very good advice.
sustainable.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true for everybody. Like, I think it's fairly rare to go into a store for most people and be able to find something that fits you well right off the rack.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Because none of us are that perfect, whatever
Right, right.
mold that's being used, right?
So I want to get more into the technical side of things here. Want to ask, how does open wardrobe actually work from a tech perspective?
Mm-hmm. So we have, as I mentioned, we have several tools, right?
Mhm.
So there are a couple of ways that somebody can start using open wardrobe. So you can digitize your closet. And if you digitize your closet, all the data is stored on our servers and everything is backed up and you don't have to worry about losing anything, right? And then we have our AI, which is trained on millions of outfits that our customers have saved. So either by creating outfits themselves or by using stylists or even saving suggestions from our AI. So that kind of forms this foundational model. And then when you start interacting with it, it starts learning about your specific preferences and your specific quirks, if you will, right? So if it can understand that, for example, you're somebody who loves floral on floral, right? And it starts kind of adjusting the suggestions. So that's at a high level without getting too technical. That's how it works. There is a website or web app. There is a mobile app. And we also have a browser extension. And what that does is whenever you're shopping online, you can access your digitized wardrobe if you chose to digitize it. And our AI, by the way, it has a name. Her name is Lola. It's a she. So you can access your wardrobe and you can access Lola AI from any e-commerce site. So when you're, let's say, shopping online and you're looking for a pair of pants, you found this perfect pair of pants that will fit you. You can say, show me how I can wear it with what I already own. And it'll start spitting out outfits, which you can then very quickly, again, kind of a decision making there. Can you wear it 30 times at least? So
Mm.
very quickly it'll show you that you can wear it so many more times.
Ways. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're basically kind of becoming a lot more mindful when you're shopping, making these decisions ahead of time to be able to just buy it and actually use it, not return it.
Mhm. Do you have any surprising insights that have come up, like looking at your platform data from learning from that?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I was that surprised, but the 80-20 rule that you mentioned, that's
Mhm.
very, very normal, very common. Interesting thing is like people in the cities, they have a lot more occasion wear than people in the suburbs. And that is actually something that's not worn very often, but that's part of the 80% of the closet that's worn 20 times, 20%, right? So that was very interesting. And then the most interesting thing was not really data based, but anecdotal. That's when people write to us and say, you cured my shopping addiction, or you helped with my HD, my deficit disorder. Or people said that huge closets, nothing to wear, and now they have small closets and it can go a year without repeating an outfit. So
Mm.
those kind of things are a lot more rewarding than just looking at the data, although I love our data.
Yeah,
Another thing I learned, and that's purely from our data, that for women specifically, 30% of their closets are typically in tops, which
interesting.
I don't know if it's surprising. I think it makes sense, right?
Uh,
That tops would be 30% of your closet. And then the second category, I would have thought it would be dresses, but it's not. You want to guess what it is?
Shoes?
Yes, shoes.
I'm like thinking of all my shoes I have back here. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. So interesting to hear about that. Yeah, dresses would have made sense too. You must get some very interesting insights out of that. How
Yeah,
many users do you guys have on the platform right now?
we have a few 100,000.
Okay. Wow. So very significant. Yeah. So I want to, are there any misconceptions that you think people have about AI as it applies to AI in fashion?
I don't know about misconceptions. I think there are some theories about how recommendations are being made. And I'm talking about e-commerce sites, right? Because it's all driven by AI, like whether it's obvious or not, it's all driven by AI.
Right.
Traditionally, that AI has not been very smart. As in, you buy a pink blouse, we're going to recommend you more pink blouses, right? Instead of we're going to recommend you what goes with it or stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's getting much, much better and much smarter, especially in the last 3, 4 years. One thing about our AI, and that's what I'm kind of trying to explain to everybody, it's not designed to become your perfect, here's the outfit that you're going to wear. And it's really about education and creativity and equipping you, empowering you to become more mindful in how you're getting dressed. So AI is just a tool. It's not the solution, right? It's just a
Right.
tool. A
Mhm.
tool and or another signal or another, you can use a friend, you can ask a friend, you can ask your sister, you can ask AI.
Yeah. As it applies to AI and the ethical concerns around AI, especially, sustainability wise, what are your thoughts there? How have you been able to manage and balance that?
Well, for us specifically, everybody's data is very private. So you can only see your own wardrobe unless you choose to open it up to others. And when you do choose that, you can choose to do it to everybody or to select group of friends, stylists, whoever. So in that regard, we are not using people's data for anything else except for training, like showing our AI what's a good outfit, what's not a good outfit, right?
Mhm.
So kind of training it on that. But even in that, we do not, no personal data is used. It's just pictures, just like,
Mhm.
photos. That's when it concerned, about open world specifically. In general, though, I think AI is really helping right now, especially in supply chain. So how do you make sure that whatever you're sourcing to making your garments, I'm talking about brands specifically, that you reduce the steps, you are doing kind of just in time production, or as much as you can. Obviously you cannot do just in time in fashion. It's typically 18-month cycles, but AI is really helping to reduce that and reduce waste. I've seen absolutely amazing tools that are using AI for cutting textiles for
Mhm.
garments to reduce waste. So it can really be precise in how to cut materials so that there is virtually no waste or very little waste. So that is definitely, definitely helping. And we're just scratching the surface right now.
Changing gears a little bit, I wanted to, okay, I'm curious, what's been the most difficult part so far about getting people to change how they shop and dress?
It's really up to a person to really decide to change
Mhm.
how they shop and dress. Until you kind of decide that you're gonna do something differently, nobody can influence you or nobody can tell you. For us, of course, I mean, our platform is not frictionless. You have to do some work in order to get full benefits out of it,
Mm.
meaning you have to photograph your items and upload and digitize. We make it super easy, but people still need to do something. So it's been a hurdle, but it's definitely worth it. As soon as that is done, you get a ton of value out of it. What's been less difficult is to provide this educational materials. People are really, really wanting to understand themselves better, the body shapes, the colors, the personality, right? And so that is kind of surprisingly been one of the things that people have been gravitating towards, especially older people,
Mm.
surprisingly. So that was kind of a bit of a aha moment for me. Yeah, I mean, it's very. My philosophy is I'm not here to change you. I'm here to help you if you want to change yourself.
Same. I love that. I think that's a great philosophy. I want to ask you about your personal closet
Hmm.
a little bit, because obviously you've been doing this for a while now. I'm very curious. Is there a kind of weirdest item of clothing you own or something that you're like, I could never part with this?
I'm not sure about weirdest, but I've had I have a few items that I've had for many years. So I have one blazer. By now it's vintage because I've had
Mhm.
it since mid 90s. So, and I bought it. It's from a brand that doesn't exist anymore. So Versace used to have kind of a lower end brand called Versus, I think that they were calling it. And that blazer I still have, and it's amazing. I get ton of compliments and it's super great quality and I've had it for years and years. Then I have also, so that's actually kind of quite an interesting story. So when I finished my MBA, as I studied in France, a friend of mine came and we went to Paris and we just did like a shopping day. And I didn't have a lot of money at the time, but we went to a Kenzo store
Hmm.
and I bought 4 items. It's been 20 years. I still remember the salesperson. I still have every single item. I still wear every single item. And it's probably one of those things that I will never part with because the quality is amazing. It's
Hmm.
never going to go out of style. And it's like kind of sentimental. It was a gift from me to me for
Mhm.
my graduation.
Mhm.
And those items I still have.
Love stories like that. I think everybody has something like that in their closet. I think it's very special. Um, if you could raid anyone's wardrobe in history, whose would it be?
Well, I don't want to sound like a cliche. Of course, I would love to rate Coco Chanel's wardrobe
Mm,
because she was the first, she went against all conventions, right?
mhm,
Like she dressed completely differently from any woman of her time.
mhm,
And she was completely unconventional. So I would have loved, and she sold everything herself. So
right.
obviously that would be amazing. Well, I don't know if there is anybody else. I never thought about it. I need to think about it more.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, like, this is also maybe a little bit basic, but Audrey Hepburn is like
Oh
love.
yeah,
I
of
just feel
course.
like so
Yeah, her
classic.
style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything. And I feel like too, even though she's very skinny, obviously, and slender, I feel like a lot of what she wore would look good on almost anyone. Really
Yeah.
do think that.
I
Yeah,
agree with you. I agree with you because it's all very kind of understated, but so elegant, right?
totally. Yeah, so chic. What is next? What is the next big vision for Open Wardrobe? Where do you see the platform going to be in about, let's say, 5 years from now?
So 5 years is probably too long to look.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's say two.
Yeah, let's say two. So we're really working on building out skills for our Lola AI for her to become your personal shopper.
Mm,
Because I mean, of course, I need to combine kind of business viability with sustainability and everything else.
mhm,
But what we're training her to do is be we're extending, we're already working on it right now. We're extending our functionality of our browser extension.
mm,
You can, doesn't matter where you shop online, you can say, does it suit me? First of all, it'll give you kind of a scoring.
mm,
And then you can say, should I buy it? Because those are
mm.
two different questions, right? And then it kind of can be your voice of conscience, almost like, you actually have like 3 other things that are kind of similar. Do you really need it?
Yeah, smart.
Right. So stuff like that. So that's kind of our next focus.
Mhm,
And from there we'll see. I mean, everything moves so fast. The technology moves so fast these days.
right,
So
right.
we'll see.
That's fascinating. I can't wait to that sounds really cool. Do you see the platform ever evolving kind of outside fashion or maybe into other areas of sustainable living?
Potentially, yeah. We always envision this as open X, right? Like open doesn't have to be your wardrobe, it could be anything. So the next most logical thing is your beauty cabinet, but we're not there yet. So eventually, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. Um, okay, great. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So I have some rapid fire questions for you. Okay. My first one is most underrated wardrobe essential.
Most underrated wardrobe essential, belt.
Ooh, okay. I love
For me,
that. I don't think I
yeah.
have a belt right now, and I've been thinking lately that I need to get one.
Yeah, so I know that not a lot of body types love wearing belts,
Mhm,
but I think every body type can. It's just a
mhm.
different belt, right? And
Yeah,
how you wear it. So I think that's
I like that. Is there one item you regret ever buying?
clothing item, you mean, right?
Mm,
Yeah, there is one pair of shoes that I regret buying. I wore it twice. They're very good looking, but they are super heavy.
Oh.
That's from Alexander Wang.
Mm.
And they have like metallic, I don't know what they call them. It's like huge bits, but out of metal, and they're kind of painful.
Really?
And I listed those shoes on Poshmark, and they've been there probably for a year. Nobody's buying them.
Okay, got it. That's a good answer. Is there a style rule that you think is overrated?
Style rule that's overrated is that there is a style rule. I mean, there are no
Mm,
rules. I mean, you can understand the theory behind why or something looks good or you or not, but then it's just to inform you.
mm,
You don't have to follow any rules. So for me, it's just wear whatever you feel
mm.
good in, right? And then
Right.
if you want to show up as something or someone, or you want to feel a certain way, clothing can help you with that.
Mhm.
And rules are there to be broken.
Love that. Do you have one word to describe your personal style?
My personal style is pretty minimal,
Hmm.
like minimalistic. So but okay, so one word is not gonna is not gonna
That's
do it
okay.
right now.
One sentence.
So okay, so I'm pretty minimal, but I like elements of drama.
Okay.
And the drama typically comes in an accessory,
Mm.
not clothing.
Okay. Okay. Love that. Good answer. I feel like minimal is very on brand. All right. My last question is, do you have a book or a resource or a course or anything along those lines that you can recommend for budding entrepreneurs?
Oh, yes, anything around innovation. So, for example, Innovator's Dilemma book is
Mm,
amazing. Jobs to be done. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's really about looking at a problem in a slightly different way from how we've been looking at different problems. So
mhm,
it's really, if you're looking at clothing or an item of clothing
mhm.
or a clothing brand, the question becomes like, what is the job that customers are hiring that brand or that item of clothing to do?
Got it.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily to keep me from being naked. It's
Mhm,
maybe it could be to get a date, right? Or
mhm.
it could be to get that perfect job or whatever that is. So it's really from that angle. Innovator's
Interesting.
Dilemma is the name of the book.
Okay, got it. I got it. I'll have to look that up. I've not heard of it before. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Julia. Where can people find you and where can they find Open Wardrobe?
Open Wardrobe is just go to our website. It's www.openwardrobe.co,
Mhm.
.co, not .com, and all the information is going to be there. You can download an app right from there, or you can sign up and use our web app. You can download our browser extension from there. So all the information.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad I got to chat to you. Yeah, it's been a great episode. I'm really excited for people to hear this.
Thank you for having me.
And that is a wrap.